Okay.
All right, let me make the phone call now, okay?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Did it go through?
Check again.
Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2.
It did not. Try one more time.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up all and do it all over again.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, it didn't go through. Try again.
Okay. We're on the first one, yes.
Well, yeah, it has to work. It worked before.
Yeah. Calling now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to. How about now? Can you hear us now?
Do it again.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay.
Not that it will need it, but just in case. All right. So what time we going on?
Ty?
I don't know yet. Give me a second to think about it. I gotta get.
All right, no worries, no worries. There's no rush. I just got to get my together too.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, can we come back after the next commercial or whatever?
Good timing. I got 30 for the song to end. I'll just put you in now.
Just cut it and go to the intro.
Yeah, I know. Let me set it up, and I'll do it. Started intro. $20. 10. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everyone, to Tasker Arena. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, on the Cool 95.7 app, and, of course, on YouTube for Hobbs Athletics. Ty Friend and Coach Brian Coltrane with you tonight, coming after a big win for the Hobbs Lady Eagles as they took care of Artesia in double-digit value, 70-39, the final in that one. And now tonight, Coach, we've got the Hobbs boys opening up their season. They've had no games prior to this, so this is their first hurrah, and they're playing the Bulldogs here on their home court.
and you know, I tell you what, they're pumped. A lot of these kids have been playing basketball year-round. Even at the height of the pandemic, they were able to get a little bit of ball in. There were some travel teams and things like that played out of state. You know, they're going to be ready for this. They're going to be excited. They're going to be pumped. And this is going to be a great venue right now because I think they sold out their capacity to the percentage that we were allowed to have in there. This place is a nice packed place right now.
Is that called COVID capacity, I guess?
COVID capacity.
Is that a new – do I get to coin that term?
We'll give you credit for that.
Okay, well, the Hobbs Eagles coming after last season, 18-10 overall. They were 5-1 in district. Lost in the district tournament championship, of course, to Clovis, 67-55. But they did win the regular season crown. So not a bad season for the Eagles. They did lose in overtime, though, here at Tasker Arena to El Dorado, 92-88. That was a nail-biting game going back and forth. And, of course, Las Cruces eventually winning the state championship. So, again, you want to get more wins than that, but, hey, Hobbs Eagles tend to be winners all the time. I mean, they're always, it seems like, plus in the W column, and that's still not good enough at some points. But Coach Shelby Reeves says the big difference this year, he knows that some people think they're not rebounding as much as they should. That is one thing he's been hitting hard on. We got to crash the boards. We're never going to be the bigger, taller team, or possibly not the more physical team either, but we got to have guys going hard to the ball and getting it off the glass.
One thing I like about what Coach does is that he's really gotten down with the youth movement, and he's really started making the junior highs do the same thing all the way on up so that there's a consistent level of play within the system. And as he's done that, every year you go, you're going to see a more confident team that has learned more advanced stuff because they already know his system. He's no longer at that point where he's teaching his system. These kids come up knowing their system, and now he can teach them the finer points of the game.
But, of course, with COVID, a lot of things have been shut down for months and months. The summer program didn't go operational. That's what the bread and butter is for Hobbs Eagle basketball, is hanging out in the gym, playing those full-court games against guys twice your age and more better physical ability. I mean, that's how you learn the ropes.
Absolutely. But they found those games. Those games may not have been played here at Tasker, but those games would have been played in the parks and all around town. There's always a hoop to be found here in Hobbs.
Of course, big returner for the Eagles, Jalen Gore. He is a junior this year. Last year averaged 14.5 a game, led the team in three-point scoring with 55, and was 37% from three-point range. He's definitely going to be a big-time shooter this year again. But Coach says he's really gotten his game together in other areas, too, taking it to the hoop, rebounding, playing some defense, but he's not a one-dimensional player like some people say he was. All he could shoot's the tray. Well, that ain't the case.
Yeah, I think that, knowing Coach Gore as well, he's doing everything he can to help his son improve and become a well-rounded player.
Got the national anthem getting ready here at Tasker Arena. We'll take a break as Hobbs takes on Artesia in just a minute.
Clear. $30. Back in 10. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Back live at Task Arena, Ty Friend, Coach Brian Coltrane. The Hobbs boys getting ready to take on Artesia. First home game and game of the season for the Eagles. Artesia coming off a victory against New Mexico Military Institute, so they got a win under their belt. They played them just a few days ago, beating them 69-54. So that's a good start for their season. We were talking right before the break about Jalen Gore returning for the Eagles. Definitely a big outside shooting threat and can take it to the hoop as well. Of course, the Eagles are going to have to cover up some of their scores from last year that will not be on the team due to graduation. And one of those guys, scored 26 points against Artesia last year, and Terrence Smith averaging up close to 16 points a game last year. So his sweet move to the hoop and using his size when he needed to is going to be gone. But they got some people that do have some experience from last year. Isaiah Lewis returns. He played in 20 games last year, averaged about 5.5 points a contest and close to 2 rebounds a game. He's definitely one of those guards and wing players that's going to mix it up for you.
And another one I expect to see more from as we go forward is Michael Mackey. Mackey is one of them all-around players. He is great moves to the basket, likes to finish. I expect to see more out of him this year.
Yeah, close to 1.5 a game for him. He is just a sophomore, so a little bit of youth and vitality on the squad, too. Contre Morgan got quite a few games last year, too, at 27 points, coming off the bench for 4.2 a contest and 4 rebounds a game. That's part of your puzzle that Coach Reeves talks about, is the guys that are not afraid to go on the floor and get a burn once in a while on the knee.
And that's Hobbs basketball. If you're not hustling, you're not a part of this game, that's for sure.
And another guy that got some experience last year as a sophomore, now a junior, Aaron Mora. He had 25 games last year, 7.2 points a contest. His biggest asset was rebounds as well, 6.1 a game. So you combine Morgan and Mora, almost look like the same last name, first of all, but that's a combined 10 rebounds a game. You're going to need those in a shortened season.
And the nice thing I liked about Mora when he played is he was willing to use his body for anything, whether it was taking a charge, mixing it up, going down there and grinding it out and battling. He was willing to physically put it on the line.
So the Eagles will be starting just one senior, and that is Isaiah Lewis. Of course, Jalen Gore is a junior along with Aaron Moore and Contre Morgan. And we mentioned Michael Mackey being a sophomore. So that's your starting lineup: Mackey, Lewis, Gore, Morgan, and Mora. Put those Morgan and Mora together. I'm going to have a nice jumble at the mouth. Artesia, starters tonight: Jonte Rodriguez, Trenton Lee, Jacob Creighton, Cord Cox, and Marcus Tavera. I think Creighton and Cox is probably back in your mind from Friday night as the Hobbs Eagles beat their football team. Creighton, one of their top receivers, and Cox is the quarterback of their squad. They still got one game left to play this week, and they're on the basketball court.
Yeah, they don't have any time at all to get ready. And these are problems that usually happen to smaller schools. Bigger schools don't tend to have this problem in the state. But that's something small schools contend with. This year, everybody's got to contend with it. And some schools are playing 2 seasons at once right now.
Last year, the Eagles got the win on the road, 65-55, but they had 20 turnovers and only 11 steals. Jalen Gore, the returner, had 12 points in that game, but he was just 7 of 28 from the field for 25%, so kind of lower than his standards are. Cartre Morgan had 6 points and 6 rebounds. Aaron Mora, 3 points and 8 rebounds. Isaiah Lewis, 2 points and 4 rebounds. Eagles as a team only shot 22% from three-point range. But whenever the turnovers are double almost what your steal count is, Eagles have a struggle, and that's what the situation was in that game. Artesia outscored them 25-12 in the second quarter, but Hobbs still gets a 10-point victory on the road.
And that's very important to show that we can go grind it out somewhere else. This is going to be one of those seasons that every game counts so much more, and you can't let up at all. And I think this is one right here that we've got to come out full geared, put the pedal to the metal, and show them what Hobbs Eagle basketball is about.
And again, the number one goal for Coach Rees is to increase the rebounding. He wants to see some guys going to that ball no matter where it is. Hobbs going to wear their white uniforms. Black numbers, I can see these numbers. The Lady Eagles had that kind of a lemony-looking number of the inside, but the black numbers are showing real well for the Eagles. The black uniforms for Artesia with the orange lettering. And it will be a half-court inbound due to COVID. That's for this season only unless they extend it into next year. As the Bulldogs will bring it across the timeline with a pass off to the left wing, and holding it for just a second is Trenton Lee. Back up top, the Jonte Rodriguez, cross over to the free throw line, to the right block. He'll put it back up top to reset. Holding on to it under his bicep is the quarterback for the football team, Cord Cox, and returns a bouncer to Rodriguez at the timeline. Just underway first quarter here at Tasker Arena. Ty Friend and Brian Coltrane. Dish down to the left block, bounce pass backdoor, sails out of bounds, and that will be the first turnover of the ball game. Bear with us on these numbers as they are not filled in. That's supposed to be a regulation that they're going to be enforcing here pretty quickly.
Hobbs quickly coming up the court. Looks like they want to control the pace, of course.
Jalen Gore driving down the lane. The ball's loose, picked up by the Eagles. Reverse layup on the right side, and we got a whistle down low as Aaron Mora picked that ball up and tried to lay it in, but he gets pushed in the back.
Yeah, and going right for the throat right off the first play.
So they're going to have a foul call here on the push, and from behind they'll charge that one to Jacob Creighton. That'll be his first. And waiting for the inbound for the Eagles is Isaiah Lewis. Puts it back deep up top to Gore. Drives the left elbow. Uses up his dribble. Up top to Lewis. Slides to the right to the near side. And back reset to Michael Mackey, the sophomore, near the timeline. He wants to clear out on the right wing. Cross over to his left. Gets a screen. But Morgan puts a knee right into the defender that time. And he took a part of Tavera. And so that'll be a turnover for the Eagles after the foul.
Yeah, that's just trying to do a little bit too much there. I mean, he had the pick set. Tried to reach out with his knee and got called for it.
So that'll be the Eagles' first foul of the ball game. Still scoreless with 7 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Hobbs and Artesia from Tasker Arena. Coming across the timeline is Rodriguez. Stop and go. Dish off to the left corner. That's Cox. Drives the baseline. Throws up a shot over the left side of the rim and scores. That's Trenton Lee, his first bucket. Into the front court comes Michael Mackey. Sends it off to the left side to Gore. Fires up a three, NBA distance off the left rim. And the rebound for Artesia. With the dribble across the timeline, the pass down to the left corner. Jab step for Rodriguez. Going to spot up a three himself. And he puts this one right through the net. So Artesia up quickly, 5-0 here at Tasker.
That'll wake you up pretty quick.
Coming across the timeline, Gore gets a pass from Lewis. Top of the circle. Uses it up with a bounce pass, a bad one behind the three-point arc, taken away by Creighton. Goes to the other end, and he turns it over as well. So both teams now starting to give the ball up. Pass up ahead to Isaiah Lewis. Shake and bake to the rack. Lays it high off the glass. I think the official points back further in the lane. They might have had it on the floor. I don't know if they're going to call that the continuation or not. It was a foul. We'll wait to see if they count they do count the basket for the Eagles. That's Lewis with his first bucket.
Good aggression there from Lewis going to the basket. And I tell you what, the hustle of Mackey on the other end to come back and get that steal and knock it out in the first place was great.
That's going to be a foul called against Tavera, and the three-point play opportunity for Lewis, in and out, no good. Rebound underneath on the left block by Cartre Morgan to save it alive here. So Eagles will set it back up with a pass to the left wing to Gore. Dribbles up top of the circle, guarded by Rodriguez to the right wing. Unloads the pass to Mora, the junior. Up top to Lewis. He backs out, shot from the right elbow on the fadeaway, in and out. Mora goes up big with the rebound. Puts it back up on the semi-hook in the middle of the paint. It's no good off the back of the rim. And the rebound coming down for Creighton for Artesia, bad pass stolen, coming down the lane for Michael Mackey. And we got a crash and burn underneath the hoop. We're going to see if he was set or not on defense. And they're going to call the offensive charge here. That will go against Mackey, his first third-team foul.
And Mackey was trying to go in there like a bull. He was intending to pass all along, but he didn't get himself turned and ran over the defender.
Eagles going to apply the full court pressure defense. 5:29 remaining first quarter. 5-2 Artesia. Black squad in orange numbers will inbound to the far sideline. Spin move. Stop and go. A pass across the timeline from right to left to Rodriguez. He'll bring it to the top of the circle. Boy, these numbers are almost impossible to read down there. Dish off to the right wing. Underneath with a hook or a scoop shot by Rodriguez over the left side and scores. He's got 5 points to lead the Bulldogs, 7-2. Here in the first quarter, slowing it down as he brings it across the timeline is Gore. Unloads to Mackey on the left wing, crossover, he'll keep it outside. Moore comes and gets it on the left wing. Jab step, puts his shoulder down, drives to the free throw line and gives it off to Lewis. Up top to Gore for three. This one in and out, no good. Rebound by the Bulldogs. That's Jacob Creighton's second. And then a pass to the far side, a double team. And they're going to call the timeout before the tie-up there as Artesia wants to talk about it. 4:42 remaining first quarter. Artesia 7, Hobbs 2. We're coming back in 30 on Cool 95.7 and on YouTube.
Clear. Back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
We're back at Tasker Arena. Ty Friend, Coach Brian Coltrane as the Eagles trailing early 7-2 on their home court. Full court pressure. It's actually coming in from the far sideline in the backcourt, about halfway down, as they inbound to the backside for Artesia. Slow down and back and forth here now for Artesia. They bring it across the timeline. Pass off left wing. And a dish to the left elbow. Pivoting is Farrer, who just checked in. Fade away in the middle of the paint. Rolls around and good. So Corbin Farrer just checked in during the timeout. And Hobbs now down with their biggest deficit of 7. Bad pass up ahead for the Eagles. Their fourth turnover picked up by Farrer. He sends it the other way, and it's knocked out by the Eagles from behind. Getting back on D was Katre Morgan. Not a very good flow so far for Hobbs in this first quarter.
Not at all. Down 9-2 to start. I mean, it looks like we're just pushing a little bit too hard right now and haven't quite got into our comfort zone on the offensive end.
Artesia will inbound on the right baseline. Underneath their hoop, up by 7. And we got a whistle underneath. And that's going to go against Artesia. I guess there was a violation stepping on the line, so Hobbs will get it back. It'll be the Bulldogs' third turnover. Inbound to Eagles in the backcourt to Gore. He'll bring it up the near side. Top of the circle. Passes over to Jaden Miller, who just checked in. Underhands it to the left wing to Ronnie Ross. A couple subs. Back to the baseline right to Gore. He does a fadeaway from 15 and nails it down. His first bucket. Eagles down by 5, 9-4. Pressure is on now as the Eagles apply that defense in the backcourt. Over to Rodriguez on the far side. He gets through 3 defenders, weaves through them, comes down the lane. Backdoor pass going up strong, getting rejected is Bishop. And he'll dish out to the left wing. Up top to reset, and back it out will be Jake Barrera. Flips it back to the timeline to Rodriguez. He'll just hold under his bicep near the Hobbs Eagle logo in the middle of the court. Dribbles to the right wing, wants a clear out. Holds the ball after the dribble, kicks it up top. And a swing off to the left side. That's Cox, he'll hold it. Drives the lane, spins left, fade away, and he's hit from behind. Double team happening there. Stripping him from behind is Ronnie Ross as he went up. As he also had some help on defense by Jalen Gore, but Ross is going to pick him and his arm off.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that we actually won the defensive battle at that point, and then we kind of got into him and really didn't need to. He was a little bit out of control in the shot. We probably should have just let him take it.
So 2 free throws here, 9-4. Artesia leads by 5, and the first one clinks off the rim. We got a violation, though. Stepping quick was Ronnie Ross in that low post left. So that's going to give another free throw opportunity, 2 exactly for Artesia.
Well, you know, you don't want to give them anything extra, especially on something silly.
So back to 2. And now they have to blow the whistle again. Should have one more here. Half the team, both teams, don't even know what's going on. They wonder why they stopped the game on a missed free throw, but wasn't just because of the subs. It was because of the violation on the first shot.
Yeah, they probably didn't realize it. At least it shows you how wound up into the game they are, for sure.
Second shot, I believe this is Tavera, if we can read his number. In and out, no good. He missed both of them. Rebound on the near side for the Eagles. Bringing it up is Jesus Ramos, who just checked in. He goes to the rack on the right side with a scoop, but he runs over his defender, who was set up in the lane just waiting for him that time, Joe Palma. So unfortunately, that's going to be the Eagles' fifth personal.
And the Eagles going ahead and subbing here, and it's one of those things you've got to get control of yourself at the end. Yeah, you want to go hard to the rack, but you can't not see that defender waiting on you.
Coach Reeves trying to get some chemistry here with some mass subbing. 9-4 Artesia, 3:18 left here in the first quarter. Second game for Artesia, coming off a NIMI win a couple days back, and Hobbs their opening game. Quiet crowd, they're trailing by 5 early. One-on-one D going on now for Hobbs, and we got a hold they're going to call in the backcourt as they're going to say it was a grab by Ronnie Ross, so already his second personal. And that is the 16th foul against the Eagles, one away from the bonus. Coach going to go right to the bench again, so not having a lot of patience out there. Tyler Box checks back on the court as Ross has to sit with 2. Actually, that was the 5th team foul.
And, one thing you got to note is that when a team presses as much as Hobbs does, you're pressing for the fourth quarter, not for the first quarter. The team tends to handle you early, but as they get tired and frustrated and the game goes on, that's when you tend to take over with a press.
Artesia getting it up top of the circle to Hernandez in the front court. Bounce it down the left block, return up top to Hernandez. Touch pass on the right to Cavillo. Backing it out for Artesia near the timeline, and some tough pressure coming out on D by Box on the right side. Driving to the lane and getting hammered hard as he tries to take a shot, hammered by Jesus Ramos. And that'll be the foul as Artesia will get a chance to go to the line to shoot 2. Even the guards are now taking it hard. I believe that's Bjorn Moritz. Again, we're having some serious trouble with these numbers. They have an outline in orange on black, but it's very faint orange and nothing to color it in to make it stand out. So It's hard to give those excuses, but that is exactly what we're dealing with right now.
You can see it on the back, but you sure can't see it on the small lettering in the front.
So first free throw up and good.
And that's going to put them in the bonus from the rest of the first half.
Nick Sanchez hits the first free throw. It's now 10-4 with 2:41 left here in the first quarter. And Coach Reeves continues to sub people in and out of this ball game. So at any moment, somebody else new in there. Aaron Mora back on the court for some size. Second shot is up and good for Sanchez. 2 for 2 from the line. 11-4, 7-point lead to match the biggest for Artesia. Here come the Eagles in the front court on the right wing. Slide step with Lewis on the dribble. Bounce pass to the right block to Morgan. Spins underneath the hoop right. Tries to go up, but they're going to say he stepped on the baseline. That will be a Hobbs Eagle turnover.
And you can tell they're a little bit frustrated that they're having a hard time scoring here early in the game.
4th turnover for the Eagles here in the first quarter, down by 7. Artesia checking it 3/4 of the court. Ball loose, stripped up, and taken by Artesia to the rack. But getting rejected was Tavera by the Eagles. Pass up to the Eagles at the other end, laying it over the front of the rim with 2 hands is Aaron Mora. 11-6. 3 players have scored for Hobbs. Lewis, Gore, and Mora all on 1 bucket apiece. Almost a 5-second violation. A steal by Box. He'll throw it down low to Mora and scoring back-to-back. Here's where the turnovers are going to start to happen. And that is the turnover number 3 for Artesia. 11-8. Hobbs down by 3 with 2 minutes left first quarter. And the 6th man starting to get fired up here at Tasker Arena. Bulldogs will slow it down now. In the hands of Sanchez in the right corner off the dribble, guarded by the big man Mora. Big difference in size between those two. Pass up top to Rodriguez. Slings it down to the left corner. Pivoting with it is Lee. Takes a few dribbles and kicks it back deep to the timeline to Sanchez. He looks back at his coach at the other end. Just going to hold on to it for a second. Dribbles to the top of the circle. Stop and go. Left to the lane. Double clutch over the rim. No good. Rebound for Mora. That's his second. And he gets bodied into as he tries to unload the ball up court. As bodying him up that time was one of the Bulldogs. And I believe that was Dorius Bishop. That'll be his first.
I think they gave it to Lee, number 23. Unless you have something different on your roster
I
there.
can tell that's a 23 or a 33. Sorry about that. So 6-3 foul count, favor of Artesia. Hobbs with double at this point. Coming across Michael Mackey with 1:20 left first quarter. Hobbs down by 3, been down by as many as 7. Dump it down to Morris, threading the lane with 3 defenders on him. Kick it out to the right wing to Morgan. Up top to reset to Box. He'll back it out and send it back to the right side to Lewis. Dribbles through his legs, gets some contention from Sanchez. Almost got it stripped. Has a man open, Mackey in the right corner. Dribbles behind his back, baseline, and returns it up top to Lewis. To the left elbow, uses up his dribble, scissor step. Bounce pass top of the circle to Mora. Goes back door on the give and go, missing the double clutch on the right glass is Lewis. Long rebound for Sanchez, sends it ahead, but right to the Eagles at the other end to Morgan. And that'll be Artesia's 4th turnover. 40 seconds remaining in the quarter. Eagles at the other end on the left wing, Mackey sends it left corner. It's Box for a 3, in and out, no good. Long rebound for Rodriguez to the other end, lost the ball, and they'll call a push on the Hobbs Eagles off the transition defense.
A lot of action there, back and forth, and it's exactly what we want. Artesia's not as comfortable going at this pace. They keep trying to slow it down. That's exactly what we want here.
That'll put Rodriguez on the line. Eagle fans weren't too happy about that one, but they're going to have to take it, as that'll be Morgan's 2nd personal and the 17th foul. So the bonus has been met now. Artesia will have the 1-on-1 at least throughout the rest of this first half. But we haven't even exited the first quarter yet, Coach, with 32 seconds remaining.
Hey, you know what? It's a little bit sloppy. It's so fast-paced. This is great basketball. You got to love it. You got to love it.
Artesia 2 for 4 from the charity stride. Now make it 3 for 5 as Rodriguez puts the first one home. And both the teams been kind of out of focus in terms of the free throws. They've been leaving the lane and thinking it's only one shot, but that's happened about 3 or 4 times. So Rodriguez leads his Bulldogs with 6 points. Mora leads the Eagles with 4. 32 seconds left first quarter. It's 12-8 Bulldogs. Second shot for Rodriguez is off the front of the rim, no good. Pulled down in the left block by Mora. That's his 3rd board. Throws it to the timeline to Gore to bring it across. Back door, going to the hoop is Lewis. Double clutch over the right rim, counted. He's got 4. Eagles down by 2, 12-10, the closest it's been here in the first quarter since the start of the game. Weaving through traffic, Eagles not picking anybody up, and then a block attempt in the middle of the lane, and the referee calls it, and now Coach Reeves jumping off the bench, thought his player Ross had position right in the middle of the paint. The ref said he wasn't set long enough, so they're going to count the basket and the foul.
And I tell you what, he was set long enough, but he started falling before contact. I think that's what they got him there for, as he started kind of leaning back, and he took the hit before the hit took him.
The worst part about it, that's the 3rd on Ross, the 18th foul. They will count the basket, as I mentioned, as Creighton gets his first bucket. That's where that big wide receiver for the Bulldogs that played here Friday. Free throws up and good. He's got 3 points now. And Artesia is 4 of 7 from the charity stripe. 15-10, 5-point Artesia lead with 12.4 remaining here in the first quarter. Eagles in the last possession, as Gore will get the ball in the backcourt, brings it across the timeline, gets a screen up top from Mora, pass back, no, Gore's going to keep it, go to the left block, fade, and count it off the glass. Boy, nice one for Gore, he's got 4, and there'll be no shot at the buzzer for Artesia. So the Hobbs Eagles holding on to this one, down by as many as 7, now it's 3, 15-12 Artesia. Come back with us on 60-second break. It's the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Clear. Thirty. Ten. Three, 2, 1.
Artesia leads Hobbs 15-12 as we enter the second period of play. Jonte Rodriguez leads Artesia with 6. 3 for Creighton, 2 for Sanchez, 2 for Lee, and 2 for Farrer for the Hobbs Eagles. 4 apiece for Lewis, Gore, and Mora. And they're the only 3 that have scored here in the first quarter. Now we're in the second. Hobbs basketball. Asking for the basketball, Paxton Battishill seeing his first action. Already fouled on that right elbow of the free throw line. He gets shoved in the back. And the quick call from the official there gives a foul to Trenton Lee. That's his second. And the 14th foul. There's 8 for Hobbs through that first quarter.
And it's actually a 2-to-1 foul ratio against Hobbs. Don't really think that they're calling it bad. I mean, we're really being more physical team here. But they may try to even it up this quarter.
Isaiah Lewis, the inbound of the near side, puts it up top to Gore. Thought about a three. Just go with the curvature on the dribble there. Underhands it up top to Box. His NBA three is a swish. First tray of the season for the Hobbs Eagles. Tyler Box from well outside. 15-12. Make it 15-all, excuse me. At the other end, though, a long pass is laid up and in on the right glass. Eagles caught sleeping on the transition D. As putting it through was, I believe, Cord Cox for his first bucket. It's 17-15. 2-point Artesia lead. Eagles in the front court. Top of the arc is Lewis. Gives it to the free throw line to Mora. Dumps it in the paint to Lewis. Back to Mora. Jumps up in the air and comes back down with it. He had a band coming at him that time and didn't know what to do with the basketball. Hit the floor on the travel.
I think he went to go up strong, didn't quite have handles on it, and came loose and just ended up coming down with it.
Checking in for the Eagles. Looks like Michael Mackey. Battishill will stay out there. And we got some confusion on subs. We got too many men on the court. The refs didn't catch that one. Hobbs had 6 out there.
And they left the clock running.
Rodriguez from the left corner in the front court off the dribble, and he puts it through for 3. His second tray. Rodriguez leading the Bulldogs with 9. Artesia back up by 5, 20-15. Into the front court comes Gore. Top of the circle. Gets a screen from Mora. Backs out of it. Near the timeline. Unloads to Lewis on the right wing. He gets a 2-3 zone. One hand bounce to the right elbow to Mora. Turns it, fires a J, and puts it through the net. Mora leads the squad now with 6 for the Eagles.
Good job finding the open man.
Pressure coming on now on the trap. Oh, and banging into the offensive player, Michael Mackey on the far sideline. Got 2 overextended that time and crashed into the guard for Artesia. And that will be a shooting situation as they get the second on Mackey. That's a 19th foul, already almost double bonus with about, what we got left in this quarter, about 6 minutes and 15 seconds.
And, with Mackey has 2, and I believe Morgan has 2, and Ross has 3.
So one-on-one situation is up and good for Artesia. Extends their lead to 4, 21-17.
Artesia has shown that they can stay calm when they want to, but we have a couple of quick runs, and at some point we may just break it.
Second shot is up and good. Both free throws for Sanchez. He's perfect on the line, 4 for 4. 22-17. Hobbs down by 5. In the front court comes Gore, top of the circle. No look pass to Mackey in the left wing. Returns up top of the arc. Drive for Lewis. Almost lost it. Got it stripped anyway near the timeline. A pickoff by Rodriguez. Turnover number 6. Throws it down to an open man on the left block. Laying it in with 2 hands is Cord Cox. He's got 4. 24-17. And a steal at the other end for Rodriguez. Another Eagle turnover, number 7. Things are starting to unravel here in the second quarter. Matching their biggest lead is 7 for Artesia. At the other end, Rodriguez from right wing for 3. No good, off the front of the rim. Long rebound for Lewis. He'll dribble in the front court. One-hand bouncer back door to Cartre Morgan. He goes up high off the glass right side and scores in the foul.
And that was just all hustle right there. Turning and burning after we got the rebound. That was all hustle that made that play.
So 24-19 now, a 5-point ball game as Morgan will step up to the line, his first bucket of the contest. Eagles are 0 for 1 from the charity stripe, and the shot is swished for Morgan. He's got 3 points. 24-20. Eagles have 2 men playing some pressure defense for the Hobbs. And that's Isaiah Lewis and Cartre Morgan. And there's a timeout. Artesia's going to have to adjust to this defense as Hobbs doing a great job of sticking on those 2 guards out there.
Yeah, they did, and, it should have been a 5-second call. The referee held the ball and waited for the guy to come all the way from backcourt for it. He should have put it down and started counting. They burned the timeout to prevent the turnover.
5:31 left, second quarter. Hobbs down by 4 to Artesia. Come back with us in 30 seconds on Cole 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube.
Clear. Ten. 3, 2, 1.
Pressure is back for the Eagles. Now they've got 3 defenders, including Amir on the ball on the baseline of the backcourt. They'll check it to full court. Ball's loose and taken away by the Eagles. Gore tries to get it. He didn't ever get a handle on it. Knocked out by Artesia. That will be a turnover, though, for the Bulldogs. That'll be their 5th. As it'll be Eagles ball.
Risky play there for the Bulldogs, trying to go for the home run ball with the guy splitting and playing center field.
Of course, Artesia still has one more week of football, too, so a lot of these guys are football players out there, including the quarterback Cox. Gore's going to throw up a 3 from the top of the circle, no good. Fade away on the rebound for Morgan. Can't get it to drop. Loose on the floor, an air ball. We got bodies crashing. Morgan diving on the hardwood as he ties up the Bulldog underneath the hoop. Boy, bodies are flying everywhere and tied up Marcus Tavera on that one.
Good hustle there by Morgan, but kind of dangerous play with 2 fouls to be jumping on somebody on the floor.
Hobbs will have now 4 defenders in the backcourt of Artesia. With 5:05 left, second quarter, Bulldogs up by 4. Inbound to half court, brought down by Sanchez. Drives the lane, takes about 3 steps, shuffles his feet. They're going to call the push-off on him first. So an offensive foul, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, that's frustration right there. When you always have somebody in your hip pocket and always somebody in your grill, at some point you want to get them off you. That's what he tried to do there. Unfortunately, he did it in illegal fashion.
That's 6 turnovers for Artesia due to the offensive push-off foul. The Hobbs Eagles have scored 8 in this quarter and a total of 9 for Artesia. So 9-8, 1-point differential. In the front court, on the left wing is Gore. Sends it up top to Lewis. Jab step, backs it out, dribbles through his legs, keeps the drive going to the right elbow, pivots left into the right, and puts it back up top to Morgan. Stop and go, comes down the lane against 2 defenders. Bodies crash, no call. Ball's loose and picked up on the near side by Morgan. Sends it right corner to Lewis for 3, bounces off the glass, and the rim no good. Rebound for Artesia by Rodriguez. That's his first. He lost it off his foot on the dribble, got some pressure at the near half court by Morgan, and that'll be turnover number 7. Morgan doing a big job there. A big man playing like a guard on the full court pressure.
And the pressure cookie is starting to take effect. You're seeing a lot of agitated looks from the Artesia guards.
Both teams with 7 turnovers. Now in the front court after a sub is Jaden Miller, the redhead. Sends it back deep to the timeline to Tyler Box. Box dribbles through his legs, just kind of sliding right to left. High entry pass to Morgan on the right elbow. We got a timeout on the court. Coach Reeves at the other end wants to talk to his team for 30 seconds. We'll take a break as well. And I think we're going to extend this to 60. Artesia 24, Hobbs 20, 4:12 left first half. Come back with us in 1 minute.
Clear. $30. $15. $5, 3, 2, 1.
24-20, Artesia leads Hobbs here in the second. 4:12 remaining before the half. Eagle basketball after an Eagle timeout. Trey Morgan gets it in as he passes off to the right wing to Miller. Miller will back it out to the timeline, send it off to the left side to Gore. Gore with the jab step near that far sideline. Cross court right to Box. Box pivots, kicks it back to the left wing. High one to Miller. Miller hippity hop, dumps it back down the lane to Morgan. Goes up over the top of the rim with the lefty, no good. And a rebound for Artesia and a jump ball. As we had a big battle going on, Aaron Mora going toe-to-toe with Jacob Creighton, the big receiver for Artesia.
And Artesia's bench didn't like that. Boy, coach was hopping up and down. I'm surprised he didn't get a tee for that.
Yep, right of the rim, though, inbounding for the Eagles will be Jaden Miller. Go ahead.
Haven't heard a sit-down coach yet.
Referees trying to calm people down on the court a little bit, saying be careful. All these post players putting a chest-to-chest on each other. Still doing it after the referee told them to knock it off. Those two guys still going at it. That's Aaron Mora, and now it's, I believe that's Jacob Creighton still battling up with him. They're going to go ahead and get the ball inbounded. Miller will send it in, back door to the right, and stripped, trying to get the ball was Moore. He got between two black and oranges that time, and they finally get the foul call. So they'll charge that one to Jake Barrera. That's his first, and that will be the 17th foul. We got a lot of talking going on. Artesia coach going after the official now, and Hobbs Eagle fans want to tell him to sit down.
I knew it was coming. And you know what? When the frustration starts to show on the coach's face, that's going to bleed onto his team.
Free throw hard off the back of the rim for Mora, no good. Pulled down for Artesia by Creighton, his third rebound. Outlet to the middle of the court. Driving hard across the timeline is Tavera, goes to the rack, and he's rejected from behind. Beautiful block from behind by the big man Aaron Mora, the junior.
He removed any doubt of that being a layup from the face of the earth.
He swatted that, almost got to the back wall behind the basket for Artesia. Bulldogs will have it left to the rim. 24-20. Artesia with 3:39 remaining here in the second. Inbound back deep. Pivoting with the ball is Rodriguez to the top of the arc. To the right elbow, dribbling through his legs and backing it out, defended by Box, who stand right with him. Kicks it up top to Tavera, sends it down to the left corner and gets it back. Eagles are man-to-man right now. Actually, they're picking it up. It looks like matchup zone at some point. Right to Bishop. Up top to Hernandez. Eagles playing some pressure D with 3:08 remaining. Not a lot of movement of the ball now as Hernandez catches the ball up top and returns to the timeline to Rodriguez. Backing into Gore. They're lucky there's no shot clock. Double screen up top of the arc, and they call the 5-second violation. Rodriguez having some tough pressure on him, and the count went against him, and that's going to be it, as it will go over as a turnover for Artesia. They're 8. They kind of got lulled to sleep on their own offense.
And there was 4 coaches up off the Artesia bench screaming for him to go somewhere with it, and he was unable to do so.
Gore will have it now in the front court, top of the circle with 2:50 left in the half. Weak pass to the left wing, kind of just floated it out there, trying to get over to Box, but the defender had a piece of it. Almost went off to the races, but Cox couldn't get a grip. So Hobbs will get on the far sideline, front court, near the scores table. That'll be Jaden Miller to inbound. Sends it back to the timeline. Dangerous, jumping for it, scores. Spot shot from 3, gets pushed from behind, and the ref gets it. And a rip on his shoulder that time by Bishop. That will send Gore to shoot 3 to the charity stripe.
And you know what? That was a good play by Gore to sense that he had the angle on him, that there wasn't anything that he could do on the defensive side.
So that'll put Gore on the line. Has not scored here in the second quarter. Has 4 points. Eagles as a team just 1 of 3 from the charity stripe for 33%, but make it 2 of 4 as he nails that free throw and makes it 5 for him in the book. He'll get one more. Eagles down by 3, but very low scoring here in the second quarter. Second shot's good. That was a 3 shot that he took, so we'll get one more after this. Artesia has scored 9 and the Eagles 10, so they've overtaken the lead in terms of point production this quarter. Referees telling all the players in the lane to pull up their masks. I reffed a game on Saturday with the JV, and there were kids wearing it on their chins. Not for one team, but both teams. Third free throw good for Gore. He's got 7. 3 for 3 on the line. 24-23, the closest it's been since early first quarter. High inbound for Artesia, far sideline. Pulled down by Sanchez. Puts it back deep to Rodriguez, dribbles through the pressure. Backdoor bounce to the right wing. Creighton tries to take it baseline. They're going to say shuffle step, and that'll be a travel. 9 turnovers for the Bulldogs, not helping themselves whatsoever.
And that's the pressure again. He really didn't have any reason that he had to do something with it right then. He could have kicked it back out and reset it. Unfortunately, he felt like he had to because he was under such pressure.
Hobbs trying to get their first lead of the game as they bring it across. A pass to left wing to Miller. Drives the lane, goes back door with it. Coming up is Morgan. Lean shot from the right side, no good. And trying to get a board for Artesia, but stepping on the baseline. Never really did have control of it, was Creighton. So Hobbs will have it back. They'll be on the right side of the rim as Gore gets ready to turn it in for us.
That's another turnover. You can almost open a pie factory.
Deep inbound left corner, wide open's Miller for 3, in and out, no good. Ball gets booted by Morgan. So you're going to call this against. They're going to say it did go off Morgan's foot only, so we'll go the other way. Substitution for the Eagles, it'll be Jesus Ramos. So he'll come in for Morgan.
And Hobbs has been getting away with leaving all the guys with all the extra fouls on the bench this quarter.
One-hand bounce on the inbound to Sanchez deep as picking him up on D is Gore. One-on-one through the timeline. Stop and go for Sanchez to the right wing, front court. Bounce pass to Creighton at the right elbow. Tries to pass up top, and Mora takes a strip for turnover number 10 for the Bulldogs. He dribbles into the front court, sends it to Gore, left corner, a three on the way. In and out, no good. Rebound on the right block, going up with a fade, and a foul on the body. Ramos for the rebound. Ball comes over the iron, but there's a foul call, and he'll go to the line for two.
And I've noticed that the fouls have kind of switched. The first quarter seemed to be calling it all against Hobbs. This quarter, it's going the other way. It's going all against Artesia.
Chad Cox picks up his first 19 foul, 9 on both teams now. Free throw bounce in the back of the rim, the front of the rim, and no good for Ramos. So 0 for 1 from the line, trying to get his first point of the contest. Eagles are 5 of 7, make it 4 of 7 from the line, thanks to 3 free throws by Jalen Gore. And 1 for Morgan. Trying to tie this ball game up at 24 with 1:56 remaining here in the second.
And you haven't been tied since the start of the game, so it's a great opportunity here to bring the Eagles all the way back.
Ramos misses both free throws off the back, and a rebound pulled down by Creighton is fourth. Outlet to the far side. Into the front court, wanting a clear out is Sanchez. Gives it off to the left wing to Lee. Lee's going to back it out on the near side. Correction, that's Sanchez. In front of the Taskovich band. Drives to the left block and backs it out. Fadeaway jumper from 18 and swishes it. Got the bite off for Gore to back off of him, and putting it down is Sanchez. He's got 6. 26-23. Still down by 3 of the Eagles as Gore comes across the timeline. A screen right wing from Mora. Fade shot from the free throw line off the left bottom of the glass. It's no good. Pulled down in the left corner. We got a step on the baseline. That'll be a turnover for Artesia, as getting the rebound with Sanchez, didn't see where his foot was, and that'll be the 11th turnover. Eagles will have it right of the rim. With it, inbounding is Miller. Sends it back deep in the hands of Gore. Near the Hobbs logo, coming to get it is Mackey. Still well outside the arc. Comes around the right side with 1:10 remaining in the second. Stop and go, dribbles behind his back, gives it back up top to Ramos. Wide open 3 off the back of the rim. And pulling it down for Artesia once again is Creighton. That's his 5th board.
Hobbs needs to go ahead and amp up the pressure here in the last minute of the quarter.
Ball comes across to Cox. The quarterback holds it under his right bicep. Drives with his left hand, 1-2, and tries to go up. And they're going to say he ran right into the defenders that time, as waiting for him was Jaden Miller and also Michael Mackey. I kind of thought he might look like he just got kind of knocked off balance. Should have been a travel, but I didn't see really much collision there. I mean,
yeah, Mackey kind of stayed in there, and he kind of knocked Mackey off his base. I think that's what they're getting him for.
That will be a turnover, too. That's number 12. And Artesia really not getting much of an offensive set the last couple times down the court.
The entire quarter, they seem to have been struggled offensively.
So that'll be the foul on number 30, Chad Cox, his second 10th team foul. Was an offensive foul, so no free throws. Alley-oop backdoor at the other end. Going up with 2 hands over the right rim is Mora. That's sick. Make it 8 for Aaron Mora. 25-26, Artesia. And a steal at half court. Gore goes backdoor, no look pass. Mora picks it up off the deflection. Back to Gore on the right wing. He tries to sit it up top, and a steal for Artesia by Rodriguez. Rodriguez with a lefty layup, misses, but put back up and in over the front of the rim by DeAndre Cavillo. So some turnovers coming both ways. Eagles down by 3 with 10 seconds. Miller in the front court. Fadeaway 18-footer from the left side. It's a clink off the rim. Rebound for Creighton. Throws it down, or no, he dribbles it across the timeline, and the clock will run out to end the first half of play. So a flurry of action to end the first half, still a close ball game. Artesia leads Hobbs here at Tasker, 28-25. We will take a 3-minute break and come back live with more Hobbs Eagle Hoops on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube on the internet.
Clear. Come back in 30. Ten. Three, two, one, go.
Back here at Tasker Arena, Ty Friend, Coach Brian Coltrane, Hobbs Eagles and Artesia Bulldogs battle back and forth. Not the prettiest basketball starting the season for the Eagles. Artesia's second game. The Bulldogs lead 28-25. We'll get to the points in just a minute, Coach. I don't know, you try to get your kids out of the gate to see how the chemistry is going to go. You already know who your starters are, but you want to see how they work with the subs out there. Problem is the Eagles got some foul trouble early in this one.
Foul trouble, and you spotted them just about 10 points at the start of the game before you started settling in. You know, it's a thing where when you're pressing, you're investing for the end game and not the start of the game. So they jumped out to a lead as the pressure started going and the legs started tightening up and you weren't quite in basketball shape. You started to see a change there in the second quarter. Hobbs couldn't quite find the basket as many times as they'd like. They need to spread the points around a little bit more. But when they start to do so, you'll see a different second half.
And as usual here at Task Arena, when you start to see the defense intensifying their pressure, crowd gets louder, and then you see a spillover of like 2, 4, 6, 8 points in like a little time of span there. Not much that a team can do against that. It's hard to beat that type of six-man situation at Tasker.
And eventually you start running out of your timeouts and ways to stop it, and those runs go from 4 to 6 to a nice little 20-point run. And that's what ends up happening probably late in the third quarter, start of the fourth, you know, kind of cross those two. That's when it tends to happen.
Hobbs did have a little bit of a run in the second quarter. They were outscored 15-12 in the first, and then both teams got 13 in the second as Artesia dumped in a few extra points there towards the end. And I think a lot of that has to do with the free throws. As a guy like Jonte Rodriguez at guard, he's kind of a stocky guard, and he does a lot of good dribbling around the perimeter, dribbles through his legs, weaves through traffic on the press. He leads their team with 9 points, and he's an expert of trying to find the openings.
Here's the thing, though. If your guard's scoring all your points against somebody who's pressing, that's what's going to kill you in the fourth. If you're not getting balanced scoring where you're getting it because you're breaking down the press, you're getting it because he's making a play. And he's not going to be able to consistently do that over the course of 4 quarters.
Let's take a look at the points while we're at it. We mentioned Jonte Rodriguez. He has 9, hit a tray and was 2 trays and was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. Nick Sanchez, one of their guards, spent a lot of the time on the free throw line. He has 5 points, went 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Trenton Lee hit a bucket for 2. Jacob Creighton, he's got 5 points, 1 of 1 on the line. Also leads the team in rebounding with 6, and he's one of the guys with size on the court for Artesia. Cord Cox, the quarterback for the football team, has 2 buckets for 4 points. Darius Bishop, a bucket for 2, and Corbin Ferrer came off the bench for a bucket as well for 2 points. They really started giving up some balls in the second half on turnovers. They had 13 total for the first half, and then they started adding some fouls to that mix too. Hobbs had a big advantage when it came to fouls, Artesia did, but then towards the end of the second quarter, it started evening out just a bit.
And, you know, the fouls are going to be coming into play, especially you get late in the fourth quarter, because we've shown that we're willing to play deep. We've played, 10, 11 men deep the entire game where they're trying to play 7 or 8. And what's going to end up happening, eventually you're going to have to replace that 7th or 8th guy with your 9th or 10th guy. And they haven't looked willing to play those guys yet.
Hobbs Eagles on the other side of the point, double digits yet. There has been nobody for Artesia as well. But Aaron Mora, big post player for Hobbs, 8 points. Did go to the free throw line once, was not able to convert it, and does have 4 rebounds here in the first half of action. Jalen Gore right behind him with 7, and that was thanks to 3 free throws back-to-back in that second quarter. Isaiah Lewis with 2 points, 0 for 1 on the line. Tyler Box hit a big tray for 3. And Cortre Morgan had 3 points, including 1 for 1 on the charity stripe. So the Eagles have had 5 players in the book so far. They've only had 8 turnovers, again, compared to 13 for Artesia. And, again, fouls did mount early. They have Ronnie Ross already with 3. Michael Mackey and Cortre Morgan both have 2 apiece. So those 3 guys got to be watching themselves as we come into that third quarter. And,
there was a lot of gamemanship going on between Mora and Creighton and late there in the second half. and you were talking about what Mora was bringing to you on the rebound side, I really think Mora at this point is getting under their skin. I don't think they really feel like they have an answer for him down low. And I think Mora is going to be the key to a good second half.
Eagles are 4 of 8 from the charity stripe for 50%, so not a ton of opportunities there, but you can always improve on 50%. And that's where we have it here at the end of the first half, 28-25. The Bulldogs lead the Eagles. Opening game of the 2021, quote, spring season here at Task Arena. We'll take another minute break and come back. Brian Coltrane, Ty Friend, and Ron Gunner back at the station. Be with us with more Hobbs Eagle basketball on Cool 95.7 and on the web, youtube.com.
Clear. $30. Coming back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
We get ready for the second half here at Task Arena as the Hobbs Eagles trail by 3 to Artesia, 28-25. Thanks to our sponsor of Hobbs Eagle Hoops throughout the season, including TDS, Lee County State Bank, A-Tech Air Conditioning, Thriftway Grocery, Forest Tire, Bobby Shaw Realty, First American Bank, Lasco Construction, Gateway Insurance Financial, Robinson & Associates, and Devon Energy. Now, the Eagles haven't had a lead in this game, Coach. Down by 3 right now. You think that Artesia's at a little bit of a disadvantage. Not many guys have suited up for this. Well, they've suited up, but not many have got on the court yet. That could cost them some exhaustion.
I started looking back at my notes and everything else. They've only had 7 guys enter the game. So we're at the point where I'm thinking, man, they're going to get tired. They're going to have to go deeper in the bench. And when they do that, that's where we're going to go on a run. And I know you're trying to get me to make this point, but I think Hobbs ends up winning this by 20 once the press kicks in.
You said 3 just a minute ago to me, didn't you?
Oh, you didn't hear me. I said 20.
You said 20. Okay, you're kind of up in the ante here.
I said in the third. You know, I'm predicting halfway through the third period, you'll start to see the frustration and the turnovers kick in, and that's when we'll go on a run.
Well, we do have about 13 for Artesia in the book so far. They were 6 of 9 from the line. They did have an advantage at one point. They were getting a lot of foul calls there, but it's kind of evened out as we mentioned. But again, free throw shooting definitely better with that 6 for 9 versus a 4 of 8 for the Eagles. Artesia will get the ball to start this second half. They go from left to right in the black uniforms, those of us watching on YouTube. Rodriguez to unload, gives it up top to Lee. Pass over to left elbow to Creighton. One dribble and then returns up top to Lee. Very patient offense for Artesia to see what the Eagle D is going to give them. Pass to the timeline to Sanchez. Gives it up top once again to Cox. Rodriguez thought about a 3 as he caught the ball on the left wing. That would have been NBA distance. Touch pass on the right wing to Lee. And down to the right corner to Cox. He'll just hold it for a second. Trying to move this matchup zone around for the Hobbs Eagles. Back to Rodriguez, who dribbles to the timeline. Bounce pass on the right wing. A dangerous one for Cox. Threw it behind him. Dumps it low on the right block to the big kid. That is Creighton. And he gets shoved in the back with a forearm from behind on the baseline. So we're going to get this call against the Eagles. That will be charged. I think Jalen Gore might have got called on that one. We'll see if that's, nope, a correction. That's third on Cartre Morgan. So now we have 2 of 3, Ronnie Ross and Morgan. Right of the rim, inbound for Artesia. Give it to Cox, drives the lane, right to left, scoop shot and scores off the glass. A little bit of a finger roll action there for Cox. He's got 6. 30-25 Artesia. Eagles in the front court. Michael Mackey, top of the arc. Over to the right wing to Morgan. Crossover move to his right, left, coming down the lane. High arching layup over the further rim. It rolls, flush it through, and a foul. Counted for Morgan.
Great drive, split the defenders, got up above them. There's nothing they can do but foul them, and the shot falls.
So a chance for a 3-point play for the Hobbs Eagles as they get the foul call against Tavera. That's going to be his 3rd personal and the first team foul. Missing it off the rim is Morgan. Can't get the rebound as he chased it. Rebound on the near side by Rodriguez, his 2nd. Pass to the timeline. Stop and go for Lee on the far side in front of the scores table. Hands it off on that far side to Cox. Bounce it dangerously to the back half-court area to Rodriguez and almost picked off by Mackey. Rodriguez stop and go. Mackey put some hand checks on him, getting away with it. Bounce it over to Cox in the right corner. Cross-court left and falling out of bounds. They're going to call the turnover as trying to get up in the air as high as he could go, almost like he was backflipping or something to try to pull it down. That was Cox, and that'll be a turnover number 14 for Artesia.
And that's a frustration turnover against Artesia there.
Eagles in the front court. They dish it into Moore in the middle of the paint. Turnaround jumper in and out. He got robbed by the rim on that one. Ripped down by Creighton for his 7th rebound for the Bulldogs. He tries to dribble, almost got it stripped away by Mackey. And now the pass across the timeline. Slowing it down for the Bulldogs, top of the arc. A bounce pass to the right wing to Lee. Lee will dump it down the right block. Creighton dribbles off his own foot out of bounds. He was trying to spin, and I think getting under his skin is Morgan as he had some words for him as he was defending it.
And the Artesia coaches are in these referees' grills the entire time.
15 Artesia turnovers at the other end. Going to the hoop, double clutch. Oh, we've got one ref said it was a block. The other said it was a charge. The one at the scores table had the block. And so that will put on the line the Eagles. That will be Michael Mackey.
And Artesia just went running up the court. I don't think they realized the foul was on them.
Yeah, they got two guys running towards the other end, like you said. See who they charge that to.
Went against number 24. That's Creighton.
That's his second team foul. As Mackey will step up. They were 4 of 8 from the free throw line in the half. As Mackey gets his first one. First point of the game from Michael Mackey. And you think he's going to be one of the up-and-comers on this team?
I really think so. You know, he's more of a passer than a shooter, but he's very good at breaking down the defense. And he's the type of guy that I can see him really contributing a lot to the squad.
Yeah, 2 more years on the team. He's just a sophomore. Misses his second free throw. Morgan tries to chase it down. Saved by the Eagles. They're going to say it was out on Artesia before the save. As jumping for it on that near baseline was Isaiah Lewis. Hobbs will get it on the right side. That'll be Lewis to inbound. 5:50 left here in the third. Eagles down by 2. Morgan has to kind of juggle it to himself as he catches it left wing. Throws it right side of the paint to Lewis. 1-2 and up and misses off the back of the rim. Rebound up by Morgan. Can't get it to drop with the front of the rim. And a cleanup man, Aaron Mora, tips it on the right side of the iron. Puts it home for 10 points and 5 rebounds. And now we've got some collision going on the baseline as Artesia gets the ball knocked right back to him on that baseline. Bodies crashing on the floor. And boy, Hobbs is starting to get impressive out here as they put some intense pressure on the Bulldogs.
And Mackey doing his best Superman impression. He went all out on that one, diving for the ball, trying to get the steal.
30-30, we are tied. Hobbs has been kind of clawing their way back into this one and finally trying to get maybe a lead at one point in this game.
But how many turnovers have you seen from Artesia here in the last minute or two?
And 15 total in the ball game. Eagles will play the D, but getting through it to the Bulldogs. Coming up front is Cox. Bounce pass back door underneath. Double clutch and coming underneath the hoop from left to right is Bishop. And that head fake caused a grab by Jalen Gore. And he comes down on top of him. Let's see if they can, they change that to Mora. That'll be only his first. And the first team foul on the Eagles.
Yeah, Mora came over to help, and Mora was unable to keep his feet on him.
First free throw is up, and it is good. That was Trent Lee, actually, on the free throw, his first. They're now 7 of 10 for 70%.
And free throws may be a critical part of this game come to the end.
3 points for Lee. Second shot is good. He's got 4. 8 of 10 now, 80%. Here come the Eagles. Down by 2, 32-30. Gore on the front court on the near side in front of the Taskovich band. They do have the cymbals and the drums out tonight. No wind instruments. Wrap around to Mackey on the right wing. Return up top to Gore. Thought about an NBA 3, but the defense comes on it. To Mackey on the high post, right side of the rim. Goes back down to Mora, turns and fires from the right base, and a 10-footer falls through. Mora's got some great lift in the air and a good follow-through.
I don't think they have an answer for him.
12 points for Aaron Mora, the junior. Tied up at 32. 5:20 left, third quarter. Bad pass to half court on the bouncer. Stolen for the Eagles by Gore. Goes back door to his teammate. Laying it in for 2 is Isaiah Lewis. 6 points, and now 16 turnovers for the Bulldogs. Cross-court pass, a dangerous one on the near side. Stop and go for Artesia. Eagles first lead at 34-32. Pass up top to Rodriguez. Comes down the lane, fumbles the ball. It's loose on the hardwood. Eagles diving for it. I think we may have a jump ball. Artesia trying to get a timeout. And it will be either a timeout of their possession. Not sure they called a jump or a timeout on this one.
I believe they got the timeout.
That ball was loose on the hardwood rolling around. Nobody had possession of it, though. Artesia gets the benefit of the doubt, though. They give the ball to the Bulldogs. And Coach Reeves is questioning the officials and saying, how can there be a timeout when the ball was rolling around? Nobody had possession, either team.
Yeah, he's asking that question. He's probably not going to get the answer he wants. I can tell you this in my experiences. I've never won a referee argument.
Yeah, it is true. And you've tried it with me before, too, Coach. I've been on a few of your games.
Arguing with the referee is kind of like arguing with your older brother. He's just going to eventually sit on you somewhere.
We'll take a quick 30-second break. Hobbs 34, Artesia 32. The first lead of the ball game. Live at Tasker, back in half a minute.
Clear. Back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Tasker Arena. 34-32 the score. Hobbs with his first lead of the night after a 9-2 run. And it looks like the poison's starting to take effect, Ty.
Yep, we'll see if the Eagles continue the full court pressure and taking care of business. They'll play the half court D now as Artesia has it left of the rim in their front court, down by 2 for the first time in the game. No look inbound to the left corner, a 3 on the way, in and out, no good for Cox. Long rebound for the Eagles, trying to drive hard in transition across the timeline midcourt. Isaiah Lewis off the rebound, his second. He gets it punched out from behind as it rolls out to the far right wing. Out of bounds, Eagle get the inbound to Box. He just checked in during the timeout, comes to the right circle, puts it back deep to Gore, fakes a 3, crossover, fires a 3 anyway from the top of the arc off the front of the rim, no good. And the big man, the big receiver, Jacob Creighton, at this 8th rebound. He'll take the dribble too. He'll take it to the front court. Get ridden by Morgan to the right corner, front side, lost his own ball, and they're going to say Morgan touched it, but the fans erupt. Somebody lit the Eagle fans right in front of their official on the near side.
And I think they have a reason to complain there. He dribbled it right off his hand and just went out of bounds.
Leo inbound to the near side to Sanchez. He'll back out on the D. Coming out on him is Box. To the top of the circle, down the lane. Backdoor pass, double clutch, and Morgan rejects Creighton midair. Pulled down, though, by the Bulldogs, and going back up right behind him is a little guard who gets hit in the face. And he'll get 2 free throws. He's wearing his mask like a goatee right now. Official must not have noticed that.
I don't think the masks are anywhere near effective. All these players are just sticking it around their chin anyway.
Tyler Box will pick up his first, the foul for the Eagles, second on the Hobbs squad, and that will send Sanchez to the line to shoot 2. He's 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. First shot is up, and it is a swish. He's perfect.
And this is about the time that I kind of start to expect that things start to go Hobbs' way. We're midway through the third quarter. Frustration levels are really high for Artesia. They haven't been able to score easy, hadn't put anything in from the field. It's all been from the line here. I think this is the point where we're going to go on a run.
Darius Bishop checks in for the Bulldogs. A fade shot on the free throw. It's in and out, no good. Pulled down by Morgan on the left baseline. So Morgan picks up his 4th rebound. Goes it across the time zone to Lewis on the right wing. Back deep to Box. Box with a crossover. Shot from the free throw line. Turn and fire. In and out, no good. And a rebound in the left block for Creighton. That's his 9th. Eagles getting 1 and out on the last couple drives. Double team against him on the baseline in the backcourt. Able to pass to the near side. Another double team. Having some issues. And we got a 10-second violation. Eagles are chest bumping each other. 3 guys going at it. They know they're underneath the skin of the Bulldogs on that pressure.
And the Artesia coaching staff living on the other side, wanting hand checks called and everything else. They can't get anybody's attention with the crowd noise.
17 turnovers for the Bulldogs. Inbound to the backcourt to Gore. He'll bring it across with the dribble. High pass to Lewis on the right wing. Comes down with it. Back to Gore at NBA 3 distance. Not going to shoot. Gives it off to Morgan on the high post left. Jab step, back door, but he throws it behind. Box going down the left side of the paint. Behind his head, out of bounds for turnover number 9.
And Box had a nice cut there. He was wide open. Just couldn't quite find him.
34-33. Hobbs by 1 over Artesia. 3:50 remaining in the third quarter. Long pass to Sanchez on the inbound. Dribbles down the lane at the other end. A runner back off the back of the rim, and we got a charge. Sanchez ran right over the top of Morgan as Sanchez will pick up his second and the 3rd team foul. Morgan taking that slam over the top. Actually, was that Morgan or was that
that was Morgan in there.
Morgan or Ronnie Ross?
I believe it was Morgan that took
Morgan's
the charge.
taking a break now. He's leaving the court.
Yeah, Ross just came on.
Yeah, Ross came in.
And that's another turnover.
Yeah, correct. That'll be number 18. 18-9, doubling the turnovers of the Eagles at this point, but still just a 1-point lead. Artesia's been a little bit, but they haven't broke yet.
And I think the key is shooting. We haven't taken a lot of good shots on our end.
What's one and done is what's happening.
Yeah.
Bad pass to the top of the arc, a steal by Sanchez, turnover number 10, and a pass up ahead, and boy, going over the top on the foul, Creighton, or actually that was for the Eagles, Miller running over the top of the guy driving to the hoop.
Miller was just trying to make him earn it. At this point, he's going to have to earn it at the free throw stripe.
That'll be the 5th foul on the Eagles, and that will send Rodriguez to the line. He is 1 of 2, has 8 points yet to score in this third quarter. He was the leader at halftime for the Bulldogs. Hobbs still holding that 1-point lead with 3:32 remaining here in the third quarter.
How many starters are sitting on the floor right now, including the big post was on the floor for a long period of time there?
True. Rodriguez misses the free throw. And your exhaustion debate at halftime might be starting to kick in, Coach, as Rodriguez having some issues at the free throw line, kind of catching his breath. Second shot is up, and this one's kind of a hard one when it rolls over the front of the rim. Count it. He's got 9. Quick inbound coming down the far sideline to Mackey. Sends it up ahead, missing the righty layup is Ronnie Ross. We got a battle for the boards and a whistle underneath.
Well, that's going to hurt somebody over on that squad. Who they give it to?
Lewis gets the rebound. That's his 3rd. They call the foul on Artesia, charged to Bishop. That's his 3rd and the 14th foul. And that will send to the line Lewis. He's 0 for 1. Shot is up and good. 7 points for Isaiah Lewis. Clock is stopped with 3:26 left here in the third. Lewis now with 7 points. Hobbs by 1.
And Artesia looks like they're opening up the bench a little bit more here in the third quarter.
Trying to make sure those fresh legs are in there, kind of reducing the fatigue factor. Lewis will get one more, and it is off the back of the rim, no good. Chased down on the near sideline by Sanchez. Little guard has 4 rebounds himself. Crossover move, dribbles to his legs. One hands it down the court to the big receiver kid. Creighton goes to the rack, double clutch over the front of the rim and is bodied up from behind. Miller's starting to protest that. He better be careful. He has been putting a chest into his offensive players so far.
Very passionate player. I don't really think he has a leg to stand on there. He got the body into him pretty good there.
16th foul on the Eagles. Creighton will step up to the stripe. He's 1 for 1 on the line. Has 5 points yet to score in this second half. First shot is a switch. Ties it up at 35, and boy, that football game Friday night, the Eagles beaten bad on Artesia. 59 points on the scoreboard, Coach, for the Eagles.
Don't you think that would be on their mind right now? A lot of these guys are football players, and they want revenge. And what better way for them to get revenge than beat Hobbs in their number 1 sport, which is basketball.
Creighton breaks the second free throw, rolls off to Mackey on the far side. His first rebound. Puts it down low. Shot missed by Ross underneath. Put back up by the Eagles on the tip on the right block. Put it down for Mackey in the foul. He's got 3 points now and now 2 rebounds because of that tip in.
And the foul, I think they're spreading them out even a little bit more. Goes against, I think, 42 Hernandez.
That should be the 5th on the Bulldogs as they will charge that to Creighton, his 3rd. That's an important foul because he's going to have to go take a seat now. He's been boarding up big for them.
And I think that brings them into a much shorter squad on the floor. This might be the time for somebody like Moore to take over.
Yeah, Creighton has 9 rebounds, so he's definitely a big factor underneath the hoop. Free throw up and good. As putting it down was Mackey. He has 4 points, 2 for 3 from the line. Eagles, their biggest lead, Coach, at 3. Is that going to extend to 20 by the end of this quarter?
By the end of the game, for sure, is what I'm thinking.
Okay, you're on record now. We got you down on that one. Half-court inbound, stripped away by Michael Mackey. Turnover number 16, but a bad pass up court for the Eagles. They're 11th turnover. They get down the court with Artesia's ball, and there's a layup from the right side. Laying it in is Sanchez. He's got 8. 38-37. Hobbs still by 1 with 2:48 remaining in the third. Into the front court, a pass to Ramos on the left wing. Puts it up top to wide open Ross. Did not shoot it. Hands it off instead to Lewis going from right to left. He's going to spot an NBA 3, a fadeaway off the back of the rim. Tracked down by Rodriguez on the far sideline for his 3rd board. Dribbles up court, down the middle of the lane. Shot from the right elbow. An errant shot goes straight up in the air. Rebound for the Eagles by Ramos. Sends it ahead to a breaking Ronnie Ross with a scoop shot on the right glass and scores, and the foul. Ronnie scoring his first bucket of the game and a chance for a three-point play.
And the fouls are starting to mount up on the Artesia Bulldogs here.
That will be number 6 on the Bulldogs as we wait to see if they get the foul on. A bunch of bodies crashing in that area that time. A bunch of guys have 3 on the board at this point.
I think they gave that to number 3, Rodriguez.
Actually, it looks like Sanchez picked up his 3rd, so he's got 3 on the board now too. So Sanchez now with 3, and that will be hopefully a three-point play for Ross. His free throw's off the back of the rim. Ball goes off a foot at the free throw line, picked up for the Eagles by Ramos. Sizzle pass on the left wing, gets knocked out by Artesia. That was a dangerous one, but it was hard enough that it went off a hand. Nick Sanchez goes out on the near side. Hobbs inbound in front of the student section. Jesus Ramos on the near side. Sends it down to the left block to Mackey. Bounce it to Mora. Actually, no, that's not Mora. It was Ramos that came back for it. He fumbles it on the near side, out of bounds. Turnover number 12.
And that was a turnover where he just couldn't quite get control. Mackey tried to make a pass to the cutter. Ball came loose, and at that point,
both sets of fans kind of waiting for a run here, not really getting much of it here in the third quarter, 40-37. Student section yelling in the inbounders there. Get it ahead to Rodriguez. Comes down the right lane. Does up a shot on the run and puts it off the glass for 2.
That was pretty from Rodriguez.
He's got 11. 1-point Eagle lead, 40-39. 2-minute warning here in the third. Pass off to Gore on the left wing. Fadeaway jumper from 15 off the front rim. No good. Long rebound for Artesia on a 3-on-2, and pulling it out is Cox after his first board. He'll do a fadeaway on the left wing. 15-footer's no good. They're going to call the travel after the rebound for Mora. It appeared that he was getting kind of pushed in the back, but they're going to say he should have kept his footing there. 6 rebounds for Mora, but that's also the 13th Eagle turnover.
At this point, we hadn't seen any looks that have gone to Mora down low here in the offense in quite a while, and he's got such a height advantage right now.
Artesia will have it in their front court. Left of the rim, facing the basket as they inbound to the left corner. Sanchez wide open for 3 off the back of the iron. Mora rips it down with the big Eagle span. That's his 7th rebound. Sends it ahead to a breaking Michael Mackey. And we've got some crashing underneath. Actually, that was Lewis that tried to catch the ball in the middle of the paint, and he got sandwiched between, I think, 3 defenders that time. And they're going to charge that one, I believe, to Sanchez. That's his 4th personal. Sanchez has 8 points, one of their leaders right now, and perfect on the line. Or actually, he is 5 of 6 for the charity stripe.
And when they get in trouble on the press, he's the one that's been bailing them out. Now he's sitting on the bench with 4 fouls, and we're only in the third quarter with 1:36 left.
Plus, that's the bonus, too, Coach. 1-1 for the rest of the game, and a free throw right through for Lewis. He's got 8 points now, and is 2 of 4 from the charity stripe, 50%. Another free throw comes up and good. So he has scored 5 points here in the third quarter. Eagles up by 3, 42-39. Quick dribble for Rodriguez now in the front court, behind his back on the near side against a double team. We got a whistle underneath, and there's a timeout on the floor. Artesia wants to talk for 60 seconds. 1:31 remaining in the third. Hobbs up by 3, which has been pretty much the lead for most of this third quarter. 42-39 over Artesia. We'll take a 60-second break and come back live on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Clear. $15. Back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
1:29 left, third quarter. Artesia after their timeout. They trail Hobbs by 3, matching the biggest lead of the game for the Eagles. Rodriguez hits the inbound, stop and go, comes down the lane. They're going to call a hold foul from behind. Trying to trail him and reach from behind was Ronnie Ross, not the guy that needs to get this foul. If they do call that on him, that would be his 4th.
And we're in the bonus for both teams now, but we should be 1-1 the rest of the way for both of us.
So very critical free throws. I'm sure going to be going on for the rest of this game. No, they call that instead on Isaiah Lewis, so saving Ross his 4th foul. Don't want to send him to the bench any quicker than he needs to, as Rodriguez will step up. He is 2 for 4 from the line and has 11 points to lead the Bulldogs.
Lewis is kind of protesting a little bit, but you know what? I just take it and run.
Rodriguez on the 1-on-1, hard off the back of the rim, as it is pulled down in the middle of the paint by Hernandez. Outlet to the right wing, 3 on the way, in and out for Lee. And the Eagles get the board on the far sideline as Mora sends it down the lane, and they're going to call block foul. Trying to get a layup on that right side of the rim was Michael Mackey. Or actually, that was Lewis. And there's going to be a chance for some free throws here as it kind of clinks off the rim, but he got swallowed up and taken to the floor. And again, Mora doing a good job of outletting that ball from that far sideline to get things in motion.
The way things are going, there may not be very many Artesia Bulldogs left in the 4th quarter if they keep picking up fouls at this pace.
That was the 8th rebound for Aaron Mora. So definitely doing a big job as the post player for the Eagles. Lewis will step up. He's had 4 free throw attempts here in the 3rd quarter. Is 3 for 4, 75% in this quarter alone, but he misses off the back of the rim. I better quit crunching those numbers. I'm kind of hexing him out there.
Hey, we need these free throws of whatever it takes.
42-39, and should I say this, Coach? Last year, Hobbs was down by 3 at the half, but they went on a 36-23 differential in the second half. 13-point better to win that game last year by 10. Second shot is up and good for Lewis. He's got 10 points, 43-39. Eagles by 4, their biggest lead. Rodriguez in the front court, double team on the far side. His pass is stolen at half court by Lewis on the air ball. He goes backdoor, laid it up and in for Ronnie Ross. 4 points for him, thanks to Lewis on the steal. And that makes it another turnover for Artesia. They've got 20 now. But, boy, Lewis getting high up in the air. Somebody deflected it on that far sideline to get that ball up in the air like that for the pickoff.
And the deflection was made by Isaiah Lewis. And Lewis ended up kind of getting it back after the deflection when it was flipped over.
So now it's 45-39, the biggest lead for the Eagles. Trying to make it 7 now if we can get one here from Ross. And a hard one off the back of the rim. Morris right back for the tip-up with 2 hands. Can't get it to drop. But then right behind him, that was another tip in by Ross. His first rebound and 6 points. And we got a whistle on the baseline. Last touch by the Eagles on the inbound. Coach Reese has put on some zebra stripes to help out the refs down there.
Yeah, they're trying to get anything they can. Here comes more substitutions. Artesia's trying to find a solution somehow.
Foul totals right now, 9 for Artesia, 7 for the Hobbs Eagles. So both in bonus, 1 away from double for Artesia, or for Hobbs, I should say. Artesia has 9, as I mentioned.
And they were confusing themselves. At one point, Artesia almost had 4 players on the floor when they finally realized it and sent somebody else back out.
The inbound comes to the backcourt in the hands of Bishop. Crossover move to the front side as he's guarded by Ross. To the scores table far left and just hands it off at the timeline. Holding it for a minute is Cox. The football team's quarterback drives the left of the lane. Kick out to the left corner to Creighton. Spin move to fade away from the left block, and the ball goes over the top of the backboard. Almost stayed up there. Hits the tripwire there as well, and the Eagles will have it back.
I think Creighton is completely frustrated right now. He's trying to do everything he can to win, and a lot of times he's having the opposite effect.
Does have 9 rebounds and 6 points, though. At the other end of the left wing is Ramos. Left corner, wraparound pass, backdoor to Aaron Mora with the lefty layup off the glass. Beautiful combo that time. Mora leads the team with 14 points, 6 in this third quarter. 10 seconds left, up by 10, their biggest lead. Inbound to the near side. It's to Bishop. They'll chuck it across to Creighton down at the right block. He goes up big double clutch and scores on the right side. He's got 8, and that's the buzzer right behind him. As the Hobbs Eagles up by as many as 10. They lead by 8 at the end of 3. Coach, you said this was going to be a 20-point ball game. We'll have to see if it'll happen in the fourth. Eagles 49, Artesia 41. We're back at 60.
Clear. 15. Five, 3, 2, 1.
Back live at Tasker Arena, tie friend coach Brian Coltrane. The Eagles lead by 8, as many as 10 love the lead at the third quarter, 49-41. Eagles outscoring their opponent 24-13 in that third quarter. And boy, Eagles defense and transition game is really getting back on top.
And really, more importantly, the foul trouble that we were in didn't get any worse because we spread them out better. Their foul trouble got a lot worse.
Aaron Mora with 14, Lewis with 10. And we got a tip on the ball in the front court on the near side. Goes out. Hobbs will get it back. Those are the two scorers, Mora and Lewis, as I mentioned, combining for 24. 11 for Rodriguez, 8 apiece for Sanchez, and Creighton for Artesia. Pass to the free throw line. Lewis with the fade off the back of the rim. No good. Gets his own rebound. Goes back up with one hand on the right side. It doesn't drop off the back of the iron. And here come the Bulldogs after the boards. Into the front court, a pass to Sanchez, who's dealing with 4 fouls. He's got to be careful out there on both sides of the court. Dribbles to the left wing and gives it off behind him. A shot going to be taken by Cox off the back of the rim. No good. High in the air on the right baseline is Lewis for his spit board. And now he gets knocked to the floor. Flat on his back now, and that's going to take a second to get him. He's breathing in pain.
He landed. Nobody hit him. He just kind of landed wrong. And the moment he landed, he screamed for a timeout and went straight down.
Looks like he's kind of trying to flex that left leg and holding behind the leg. Last year he had that injury. He was out for a while. He did play against Artesia. That was December 10th last season. Looks like it is his left foot, and maybe not sure if it's a Charlie horse. It looked like they're kind of stretching that leg out and trying to pull it, which usually means they're trying to get some type of knot out of there.
Yeah. And
I hope.
If it's muscle, if they're grabbing muscle right there.
Now they're going to both legs, though.
Huh?
They're going to both legs down there.
Yeah, but if it's muscle, that's a lot better than if it was bone, that's for sure.
He's getting up right now, so he's getting that worked off, and he's going to take a limp back to the bench. He is kind of favoring that right leg, though, and he's kind of holding it up the best he can.
That's a cramp. That's a cramp right there. He probably come down, got the Charlie horse from heck. And
he's asking, can I go to the training room? That's where they're taking him. Get him on that bicycle or something. He's going to the locker room, actually. So they're going to get some help out there. 7:24, fourth quarter. That's how much time we got left here at Tasker Arena. 49-41, and Eagles were down by as many as 7 in that first half, but it's been mostly them since then, and now had as big as lead as 10 in that third quarter.
We're still in that window I talked about where I was planning to get us a 20-point lead. Let's see if it happens.
Gore will bring it across the timeline, gives it off to the right side to Mackey. Mackey with 4 points. Gets a screen. Pass over to Gore, left wing. A 3-shot on the way off the front of the rim. No good. And we got a push in the back on the rebound. And that will keep the Eagles alive in their offense as they'll get some one-on-one bonus. Actually double now, but it's 10 fouls have been on Artesia. And that's going to be the 4th on Tavera now.
And see, that's what I was talking about. We're critical of Artesia because the group that came in that hadn't played so deep, they've struggled against the press.
And that will put on the line Cotré Morgan. Haven't heard much from him in the second half. He's got 5 points. He's 1 for 2 on the line, all coming in the first half. And first one is in and out, no good. He will get one more.
I think about how many putback layups we've missed and how many free throws you missed tonight. This could already be easily a 35-point game.
Second shot for Morgan is up. Hard one off the back of the rim. Taken down underneath by Creighton. That's his 10th rebound. Working on a double-double with 8 points. They sent it down the other end to Creighton after he got it past the half court, got it back from his guard, and he lays it in for 2. Creighton with 10. So he has a double-double tonight. In the front court, Eagles up by 6. Michael Mackey well outside the three-point arc up top, over to left wing to Ramos. Back to Gore for 3 off the top of the arc, but he misses off the rim, gets his own rebound. Sends a pass to the right corner, fadeaway 3 for Ramos in the right corner, and then a rebound going the other way. Artesia sends it down the lane, and laying it in for 2 on the right side is Sanchez. He's got 10 points.
And we're going to have to crank the gears up a little bit here. We've kind of slowed down on offense, and we're not pressuring them anymore.
Just a 4-point lead, 49-45. Eagles in their half-court offense. Gore gets a screen on the right wing. Defender backs up, and he makes it pay for it. Gore finally connects. He's got 10 points on a tray. 52-45. Eagles by 7 with 6:10 remaining in the game. On the near side is Sanchez going one-on-one against Mackey in the front court. Bumps into him, no call. Continues to use his shoulder against the Hobbs Eagle defense. Pass off to the left wing to Cox. He'll back it out to the timeline. Trying to get somebody to come help him. Dishes it off to the left side to Sanchez. He'll hold it. Up top to Creighton. Faces the basket. Kick it right to Cox. One hands it down low. Turnaround jumper for Creighton. Fade away off the back of the rim. No good. Mora rips it down for his 10th rebound. He's got a double-double along with 14 points. Into the front court to Ramos, left wing. Crossover move. Hippity hop. Double clutch off the left glass. No good. And chased down in the left corner. Pulled down by Creighton for his 11th rebound. Sends it across the timeline. And a shot taken and a block, and they're going to call the foul on Morgan. That was on the baseline underneath the hoop. Actually, that was Creighton shooting. He got a pass from the other end. That was from, I believe, Tavera, and that will send Creighton to the line.
Yeah, Morgan doesn't like that one at all. He thought he got all ball.
They called Gore on the foul, though. That's his first 18th foul, and Creighton goes to the charity stripe.
I don't even know if Gore was anywhere near it.
Yeah, good point. 2 for 3 is Creighton on the line, and in and out, no good. So he sits at 10 points. Eagles will go back to their bench, bring in Ronald Ross and Tyler Box. Has taken a seat will be Ramos, and is that Mora, I believe? Yes. No, not Mora. Let's see who else took off there. Yeah, Mora did come out on that one. Second free throw, no good as well for Creighton. Rolls out of bounds. Hobbs will get it back. And now returning for the Bulldogs is Bishop. Eagles will get some pressure now from Artesia. Boy, going to play the same game Hobbs likes to play. Inbound comes to the far side to Mackey. Brings it across the timeline up the middle. 3-on-3. Goes to rack. Double clutch. Misses a layup on the right side. Rodriguez rips it down in the paint. His 4th rebound. Cross court left to Sanchez with 5:10 remaining. Into the front court. Hobbs by 7. Dribbles to his legs. Crossover on the left wing. Coming out to defend him is Tyler Box. Drives him down the middle of the lane. Backdoor pass to Bishop. Fade shot off the right glass from the block and scores. He glances it off the glass and puts it through. Bishop with his 4th point.
And, unfortunately, that's another foul against Morgan. Morgan's probably going to have to come to the bench here.
Yeah, that'll be his 4th personal. 19th foul, 1 away from the double bonus for Artesia. Eagles already have the double bonus for their side. As we await the free throw, a 3-point play opportunity for Bishop, which is his first basket here in the second half. Free throw is going to be very important for both of these teams. It's been nip and tuck most of the way.
Yeah, and you know what? That's been our bane so far. We're going to have to make free throws a bit more important as the game goes on.
Taking some time to get the free throw up here. Shot is off the back of the rim, pulled down by Moore underneath for his 11th rebound. Sends it ahead to Gore, front court. Over to left wing to Box. Tries to get the D to step out. Stop and go behind his back near side. Puts it back up to Gore. Gore with the fade. Decided not to shoot the 18-footer from the left. Returns up top to Box. His 3 is off the back of the mark. Hobbs, I don't think, should be shooting all those off-distance threes because Artesia is going to get those rebounds. They almost had that one there, but stumbled a little bit underneath the hoop. And tripping himself out of bounds was Joe Palma. Otherwise, they've been going the other way.
I think the main thing is we're trying to keep pace. So those threes, they do keep the pace. And you gotta let guys take open shots. They're going to eventually learn to make them.
Inbound to the right block. Ross spinning, fade away from 15 and hits it right outside the right elbow of the free throw line. So big one there for Ross. He's got 8 points. 54-47 on the near sideline. The ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Gore, who was diving for it right in front of the Hobbs Eagles student section here on the right side. Deep right corner of the backcourt. He'll get it in on the near side to Sanchez. He'll dribble hard down the lane, fakes a pass, goes up with a double clutch and scores over the front of the rim about 5 feet away. Sanchez with 12. 54-49. Here come the Eagles. Gore in the front court. Drives to the left elbow. Shot. Swish. Count it. Big time J for Jalen Gore, who now has 12. 56-49. Eagles by 7. And we've got a 5-second violation on the baseline, running from right to left. Coach Reeves stepped up first and put that big mid up in the air.
He knew what it was. That is a pride thing right there. If you can get a 5-second call on a press, you've done a good job defending the inbound.
21 turnovers for Artesia. Inbound quickly to the left corner to box. He's going with a fadeaway three off the front of the rim. No good. Sanchez was his 5th rebound. He'll throw it ahead. Wide open Rodriguez. And the scoop is a toilet ball from the left side. It rolls around and goes in finally. 13 for Rodriguez.
And they just out-hustled us on that one.
5-point lead to the other end. Coast to coast. Missing the lean shot. Ross in the right block. Rebound for Artesia. They'll send it ahead and lay it in for 2. Nick Sanchez. He's got 6 in the 4th quarter, 14 overall, after a nice pass up court off the rebound for Tavera. Eagles were caught getting beat back on D that time.
Yep, transition defense. Guards not getting back to defend.
Eagles by 3. The Artesia fans are trying to get loud here. Pass into the front court, right wing, box. He gets on the floor, lost it. Diving for the basketball, and Coach Reeves calls a timeout, screaming at Box to, hey, get control of the basketball. Coach Reeves actually saved him because he did lose it on the floor, kind of sprawled out on that far sideline. He had 2 defenders right on top of him.
Yeah, I was thinking he was kind of lucky to get the call there because I don't think we had possession. Timeout on the floor. We're going to go ahead and take a break here. 56-53, your Eagles lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Eagle Basketball on the Hobbs Eagles Network.
Clear. Back to you in 5, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, 56-53 the score. The Hobbs Eagles up on Artesia, 4th quarter action here. And you know, Ty, for moments it looks like the press is getting to Artesia, and just like that, we get a little bit lazy in transition. Artesia gets 6 quick points, and they're right back in it.
Yeah, they're definitely not giving up, and they got a ton of football players out there. Probably don't have the best basketball mentality or physicality at this point. Eagles inbound to Gore on the left wing. He faced to the hoop, throws up an air ball. No call there as a rebound underneath, wide open for the board. The big kid is Creighton. Creighton with his 12th board. Outlet to the timeline. Run across by Lease. Tries to zing it down the lane and knocked out of bounds on the baseline by Lewis with a fist punch to boot it right to the Artesia bench.
But that's the transition hustle that we needed the last few plays. Yeah, he couldn't get back there to make the steal, but he got back there to stop the play. Now we can play some defense.
Artesia will be left of the rim on the baseline with 3:16 remaining. Hobbs by 3, 56-53. Inbound to Sanchez. Drives the left elbow. Tries it through our back door. Lost it, but controlled by Creighton on the near side. Back deep to Sanchez. He'll back it out to the timeline. Keeps it on the timeline with the pass to Creighton. Sends it to the right wing to Bishop. Clocked at 3 minutes. Hands it at the timeline to Cord Cox. Cox to Sanchez in the left wing. Drives the lane. A runner shot. Rolling around the rim. No good. Bishop gets a rebound on the left block and sends it back out left on the wing.
And they're running a 4 corners offense here.
Dish it back deep to the timeline to Sanchez on the right corner in front of the Taskervich band. Stepping out on D is Ross. A screen from Creighton. Stop and go to the left side of the lane. Double clutch is rejected by Mora. Sent up ahead for the Eagles to Lewis. Goes to the right side of the rack. Is stripped from behind. And Artesia runs out of bounds. The Eagles getting the transition game going. And now they'll get a sub on the court, too, as returning for the Eagles will be Trey Morgan.
And right there, Artesia kind of goes in the 4 corners. They're within 1 possession of tying the game up. So they're going to run the 4 corners and try to draw us out and then just drive to the basket.
Eagles trying to line up 4 on the free throw line. Now a double stack going on there. Right of the rim, facing the rim, I should say, but on the right side, if you're looking at the rim, is Michael Mackey. Gets it into the Eagles on the right wing to Gore. Dribbles up top, stop and go down the lane. No look pass back door. Mora bouncing off his chest by accident, but then picks it up, goes up strong with 2 hands and lays it in on the right glass. He's got 16. 5-point Eagle lead. 58-53. Inbound to the far side to Rodriguez. Before the steal could happen, Hobbs had a piece of the ball momentarily on the far sideline. Morgan was there, but Artesia gets a timeout. Stopping the clock with 2:11 remaining. We'll keep it right here, Coach. 58-53. What's the Artesia coaching staff talking to the Orange and Black about?
They're certainly not talking about the fact that they have no timeouts left. I think that's a big thing. He's telling them over there, hey, we're in this. We got a shot. Calm down. Move, move, move. Because at this point of the game, if you start to become stagnant, that's when you're going to throw away the ball. They've got to move on the inbounds. He was stuck. He was sitting there pointing at people. Nobody was moving. Nobody was trying to get open. And they had to take the timeout. And really, burning a timeout there, he can't stop the clock anymore. He's stuck. And that to me was a huge inbound play. And I think Hobbs is going to really take advantage of this here.
And Coach,
he's trying to keep pace, man. He wants to turn this into a track meet any way you can. There's not much time left on the clock, but Artesia's in foul trouble. They're tired. They're frustrated. You've got to keep the pressure up, and you've got to keep running and not shut down your own running.
Eagles, though, are just 10 of 22 from the charity stripe, and that's something he's going to have to address in practice. But that's one thing you always say coaches need to work on free throws, but don't they do it at the end of every practice?
It depends on the coach. I never worked free throws at all.
That's why you were 0-20 that one season?
Have an 80% win percentage there, Ty. Thank you.
What about free throws, though?
We were never great at free throws, even when I worked on them.
No Bob Cousy's, huh? Inbound to the half-court line. Rodriguez will bring it across for Artesia. Shot fadeaway right elbow. No good. Gets his own rebound. His fifth. Dribbles to the free throw line. Off his foot. It rolls away. Picked up for the Eagles by Mackey. Takes it back door with a pass to the right side to Morgan, who lays it in for two. Morgan with 7 points. It's now 60-53, a 7-point game. Long ball to the other end. Creighton misses the righty layup and pulled down for the Eagles by Morgan, his fifth board. He dribbles midcourt and is fouled by Creighton. I think that's bye-bye for him. We're getting close.
I think that'll be his fourth foul.
Fourth foul, you're right. He does have a double bonus, 10 points and 12 rebounds, though, to his name. And now Morgan's going to step up. He's got 7 points, try to make it 8. And try to extend the lead to 8. I believe that would be the biggest of the ball game. It's been hovering at 7 earlier in that third quarter, but Artesia's been whittling it down to about 3 or 5 much of the fourth.
Absolutely. It looks like it is going to occur as he makes the first one.
So 8 points now for Morgan. Hobbs came in at this point at 10 of 22 for 45%, but they're going to get it better there with that free throw. Hopefully a second from Morgan. Second shot in and out. Bounces around the rim a second time, no good. Pulled down by Creighton, 13th rebound. Outlet to the timeline. 61-53, Hobbs by 8 with 1:38 remaining. Kind of a patient offense with not much time left. Pass to Rodriguez on the right wing, guarded by Gore. Kicks it up top and then swing it to the left side. Artesia going to run some clock. Finds Sanchez top of the arc. Threads the needle down low and a little scoop shot scored underneath on the right block as Tavera gets his first bucket. 61-55, Hobbs by 6. Slowing it down at a run clock is Gore. Stop and go in the front court. On the near side. Cross court right to Lewis. Lewis near the timeline now uses up his dribble, knocked out of his hands. Has to come back and get it and has a teammate to help him. That's Morgan. Passes and gets it back, does Lewis. Stop and go, dribbling behind his back, and Coach Reeves calls the timeout. Get a little bit nervous on that far sideline. You don't want to play the yo-yo game with it too much because that cost Lewis there for a second.
And, here's the thing. We talked about movement. Yeah, you want to stall. But a stall involves movement. It doesn't involve standing around with the ball because they're going to pressure you, get the 5 seconds going. You've got to move away from the ball and try to get people open coming toward the ball. So you got to pick away. You got to slide people who are standing there with their hands, hands open, but there's no ball coming. You got to go away and let somebody else come.
Now, as a former coach, he coached for quite a few years in Texas and New Mexico. How do you stop kids from using that trap dribble, the one and stop and then hold the ball here? I mean, how can you get a kid to stop doing that?
You practice it. I mean, there has to be, conscious effort on the part of the kid to realize that you don't use up your dribble at all. And I love the phrase that, if you're going to put it on the floor, you better go score. You don't put it on the floor for no reason.
Well, some of those coaches have the 7 passes before we take a shot rule. I mean, did you ever go that extreme on your kids?
Well, with a stall, yes, absolutely. And that's something that you really want to work on right now. We need to be able to use it.
1 minute remaining. Eagles after the timeout, 61-55. Now the passing has started, as you mentioned, Coach. And they get the foul. Michael Mackey near timeline as he gets ripped hard. Stops the clock with 55 seconds remaining. More importantly, the free throws. That's Cord Cox, his third personal. Still double bonus for Hobbs. Both teams in the double bonus. And that'll put Mackey on the line, where he is 2 for 3 from the stripe, has 4 points.
And a lot of fans starting to clear out right now. I think they think this one's over.
6-point lead for the Eagles, 61-55 with just under a minute left, 55 seconds. Mackey takes 3 dribbles, shots up, and it is bouncing around and good. Made his last 2 free throws. And this is one of those feeling out games, Coach. I mean, we had COVID. Summer ball has been shut down. No practices up until recently. And then you have pods of four or five people together and not very easy to practice. And so, I mean, this is kind of getting the rust out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we learned a lot about ourselves tonight. And a lot of things that we can clean up, and we'll end up looking a lot better if we do.
Mackey hits his third in a row free throw, and he's got 6 points. 63-55, matching their biggest lead at 8. Inbound to Rodriguez on the far side. Hard dribbles. He brings it across against Gore. Gets double teamed along with Morgan. Dish off to the right wing to Cox. To the free throw off the dribble. Bad pass rejected by Mackey. That'll be another Artesia turnover. Comes down the lane. Tries to throw a high one to Isaiah Lewis. Comes up with it. Goes back door to Morgan and lays it off the right side for 2. Morgan now with 5 points in the fourth quarter. 10 overall. 10-point Eagle lead. Actually, that's matching their biggest lead. It was wrong the last time. Now it's 10, and we got a block foul at the other end. As stepping up to try to get the block was Mackey, and he threw his hip into him.
Mackey wanted to throw that one the whole way.
That's his third personal. 10th team foul, double bonus. And that'll be a 2-shot situation for Artesia.
Yeah. And, you know, what was our final free throw total in it? We were talking about that. Our final free throw, how many free throws did we miss this game?
Yeah, we missed. We were at 45% just a minute ago.
Yeah,
so.
that's I think a big key here is, you know, you hit about half those free throws we miss, and we're looking at, you know, right at a 20-point victory, which is kind of what we expect here.
Sanchez misses his first free throw for Artesia here in the fourth quarter. He still has 14 points, though. He'll get one more. But the game pretty much over with just 25 seconds remaining, a 10-point Eagle lead, and the free throw is good for Sanchez, making it 65-56. Last year, guess what the score was, Coach? 65-55. Look at the scoreboard now, Coach.
I hear you.
Boy, talk about deja vu. And it almost kind of won the same way. I mean, just that same type of mentality like they did last year at Artesia. Eagles going to be with a quick pass across the timeline. Gore going back door and landing in with the left hand is Morgan. 2 in a row for him. He's got 12. 67-56. And some of the Hobbs Eagle fans have the keys out, shaking them, saying, start the bus. That's the old cliche. You know how that goes. 67-56. Hobbs by 11. And Artesia must have had a lane violation or a inbound violation. The Eagles are getting it back on the right side of the baseline.
Yeah, they tried to throw it in and ended up going out of bounds on the near side.
Inbounding will be Gore with 16 seconds remaining. Coming back to get on the near side is Morgan, pivoting and putting it back deep to Lewis at the timeline. He'll just back it out. Artesia's just going to get off their bench and say, just let the clock run. Hobbs fans on their feet here at Task Arena, since their first win of the season. As they put this one in the books, 67-56, defeating Artesia, come from behind victory. They dominated most of the second half, though, to put this one a W. As Hobbs goes to 1-0, the Bulldogs drop to 1-1. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube on the internet.
Clear. 1 minute. $30. Coming back in 10.
Give us 30 more, please.
Thank you.
One more 30, please.
$15. Got you back in 5, 3, 2, 1.
We're back live here at Tasker Arena. Ty Frena coach Brian Coltrane as the Hobbs Eagles pick up a 67-56 win, 11 points over Artesia. Last year's score very similar, 65-55. Hobbs winning by 10 last year, 11 this year. Very similar type ball game, some big run differentials. Both games were 3 at halftime, Artesia leading in both of them. And Hobbs getting the upper hand in the second half, almost exactly like last year. Eagles outscored Artesia 36-23 last year in the second half, a 13-point differential. And in this game, it went from 28-25 to 67-56. So, again, that's definitely another big number there. Let's see what that would be, 32? I'm going to get that here in just a minute, but we'll see what that is. I didn't get a chance to add those numbers up that quick. I know Artesia got 28. And in the second half, let's see what we got. What's 67 minus 25, Coach? 42. 42-28. So 14-point differential this year, 13-point differential last year in the second half, and a 3-point game at halftime in favor of Artesia. I mean, there's so many similarities in these two games.
Yeah, that's so strange that things work out that way. I having not seen last year's game, I really can't comment on that. But knowing what I know from this year's game, in spurts, we looked really, really good defensively. We struggled a lot of times putting things away, and we had layups that we missed and free throws that we missed, and it's one of those things that we clean that up. We're going to look a lot better in the end.
So 67-56, Eagles get the win by 11, 1-0 record, dropping Artesia to 1-1. As we take a look at the scoring as they turn our lights off just in the press box. I really appreciate that. The whole floor has lights on it, but the press box gets shafted. So anyway, bear with me on these if I can read my own writing in the light here for my cell phone. But let's look at the Artesia Bulldogs first. They do manage a couple guys, or actually 3 guys in double figures, Coach. 15 for Nick Sanchez, and he was getting close to fouling out in this game, but he held on to the end and definitely helping out his cause. He was 6 of 7 from the charity stripe too, so definitely a big part of this, or actually 7 of 9 from the line, big part of this team in scoring. Another good guard was John Tay Rodriguez, who finished with 13. He finished up 2 of 5 from the charity stripe. And Jacob Creighton, their big wide receiver from football and a big kid on the court for basketball, double-double tonight, 10 points and 13 rebounds. He got into foul trouble late. You could start to see him getting a little bit tired. His shots were a little bit off underneath, but he definitely was a major physical body underneath.
And, more so he was the one that was going down and doing the bump and grind business on the bottom. He was fighting our big boys and trying to get all the rebounds, and trying to make a defensive presence known as well. So when he started to struggle, Artesia kind of started to struggle with him.
So Sanchez 15, Rodriguez 13, Creighton had 10. Nobody else in double figures. Cord Cox, the quarterback for the football team, 6 points for him, 4 apiece for Lee and Bishop. And that's about it. Tavera had a bucket for 2 as well. 2 points for Farrer, who came off the bench. This Artesia squad, 13 of 24 for 54% from the charity line. There were some turnover problems for them. They had 23. They started to get those a little bit cleaned up towards the mid-third quarter into the fourth. Not as bad as the early third, where Hobbs was starting to turn the screws.
Yeah, and cleaning it up was a big reason that there was such a swing in the game. You know, it was a game of pace, and the team that controlled the pace tended to control the action. So that kind of goes right along hand in hand.
Well, the Hobbs Eagles had their best lead of the game at the end of the game, 11 points, 67 to 56. Got 4 in double digits in this one. Aaron Moore, the big post player, with a double-double, 16 points and 11 rebounds. Got to the line once, went 0 for 1, but really did some damage there in the third quarter where he scored 6 points. So he was a very important cause underneath. And getting up strong, cleaning up the buckets that were missed, and going back up with it. He had some good form in the air, straight up. He wasn't leaning a lot, and getting physical underneath.
And really, it didn't look like he had his normal form there. There's a lot of shots that he would have made that he didn't make tonight. But it's an early game, and you kind of expect these jitters to come out and these little kinks to be worked out.
Cartre Morgan didn't have a big game for much of the third quarter. Getting to the fourth, he came back and did some good things for the Eagles. Had 7 points in that fourth quarter and finished up with 12 points and 5 rebounds total as well. So he definitely progressed as the game went along. He was in foul trouble for much of the first 3 quarters, though.
And, I really think that he was a defensive presence late in that game. Really the start of the third quarter, you saw him start to really alter shots. He didn't really get blocks, but he made them change shots that they missed really close to the basket.
Another 12-point scorer tonight, Jalen Gore. He did get 1 tray, had several shot opportunities, had 3 for 3 free throw shooting, so again tied for second in the scoring with 12. Also in double digits, Isaiah Lewis. He finished up with 10 points. Was on the line quite a bit in this ball game. In fact, a total of 7 times. He went 4 for 7 from the charity stripe. Also had 5 rebounds and finished with 10. So pretty nice to start out the season with 4 in double figures. Other scores in this game getting close. Ronnie Ross had 8 points, and a very good quarter of play that he did have was in the third, where he scored 6 points. So he definitely helped out his scoring numbers. He had some foul trouble in the first half early, but then held off in the second half. He sat out a little bit of the game in the second half and came on big in the fourth quarter, finishing with 8. Michael Mackey was 6 points, a total of 4 or 5 from the line for 80%, so definitely helping out there. Any points you can get, you'll take. One other guy scoring in this game was Tyler Box, hit a tray for 3 points. Eagles finish up with 6 guys in the books, so definitely good to see some people getting up and scoring in this one. Hobbs' free throw shooting was kind of questionable for some of the game, but they get it back up to 50%, which is still, I'm sure, not the standards Coach Reeves wants, but at the same time, take what you can get. 13 of 26 for 50%. And that's turnover situation, 13 for Hobbs, 23 for Artesia. When Hobbs is winning the turnover battle, they're going to win the ball game. That just seems to be, especially when it's a double-digit differential between the two.
Typically for Hobbs, turnovers mean points. You
Yeah.
know, not as much tonight. We didn't finish well, but those will turn into finishes soon.
Top rebounder Aaron Mora with 11, a total of 5 for Isaiah Lewis and 5 for Cartre Morgan. So those are your leaders there. Unofficially, and this is unofficially, I have 28 rebounds for both teams. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 I missed here and there when all those scraps are going on underneath the hoop. But it was very close. Different types of rebounding going on, more physical for Artesia, and Hobbs just getting it off transition stuff, just going up off the basket and getting up court pretty much on some of theirs. But a big win for the Eagles that started off. It kind of was shaky to start, but they got themselves back on track, especially coming out of the timeout. It must have been Newt Rockney Reeves in the locker room to get this team back where he wanted to be with that 11-point win.
The big thing for me is it was a physical team that they played. And having come out of this, okay, unscathed, and you get the win, I think it's big because it's a team that could give us fits because they're so physical that they can take us out of our game, and we didn't let them do that.
Big difference again in the second half, outscoring Artesia 42-28. Again, 67-56 the final. Eagles 1-0. and dropping Artesia to 0-1. As we look at the schedule coming up, the Eagles have a couple of days break as they will be heading on the road, and they will have to play at a neutral site, so that will mean that they will be traveling, and that's on Saturday during the Easter weekend. They will be taking off to take on Gallup, and that'll be at Artesia, so that'll be a little bit of a drive there. They have changed the game times a couple of times. The last that I heard, it was 3:30. Now, I'm seeing Max Prep say 2:30, but I'm not sure if it's been changed again, so we'll have to wait and see about that. I know they had to change it up there for some reason. They will be playing Gallup, though, at Artesia. They will have 60 tickets available for Hobbs fans. If you want to check into those, contact the Hobbs Athletic Office tomorrow. Brenda, our AD, will take care of that for you. So definitely want to get those in advance. Don't just go on up there thinking you're going to buy them at the door because they have the allotment already taken care of. So Gallup will be the game on Saturday, and then they'll return Tuesday. They'll have to go on the road trip again to Roswell to take on the Goddard Rockets. So definitely a lot of stuff going on with the travel. Then they've got the 8th, the Thursday next week, will be another game, a real big, long road trip to Lovington.
Oh, yeah. That, that one always bothers me because you get home so late.
Yeah, definitely have to get a few naps on the way back. Coach, you have any comments about the girls' game earlier tonight? Of course, the Lady Eagles thumping on Artesia for their second win in a row.
So impressed with them this early in the season to be running on all cylinders. I mean, still kinks to be worked out, but they have a lot of talent on that squad, and the young kids, if they come along, they're going to be a very dangerous team.
Yeah, so they were right next door to the Mercy Roll for much of that game, getting close to 35 points. I think their biggest lead was 33, and winning it close to 30-some-plus points in that game for Coach Carpenter, and a big win for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So congrats to them. As actually final score 70-39 in that one. In case you missed it earlier, just to give you a rundown of the points, Wisdom Anthony had 25 in the win. Also in double digits, Anaya Joseph, she had 14. And Elise Turbiatis with 10. So big win for Hobbs, and they caused, tons of turnovers, 18. Or actually, no, that was for themselves. 20, I think it was 26 for Artesia. So that's definitely what you want to do, play some hard-nosed pressure defense basketball, and that's going to get you a victory. So we'd like to thank you listening up to us tonight as Hobbs gets the big win by 11 over Artesia. We'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle basketball throughout the season. Of course, that's why you're going to get it in so many venues around, too, because we're not just doing it on the radio here at Cool 95.7, but we also have all these other venues, YouTube, and, of course, HobbsAmerica.com and the Cool 95.7 app. So thanks to TDS for making it happen. Lee County State Bank, A-Tech Air Conditioning, Thriftway Grocery, Forest Tire, Bobby Shaw Realty, First American Bank, Lasco Construction, Gateway Insurance Financial, Devon Energy, and Robinson & Associates. So the Hobbs Eagles racking up their first win of the season, 67-56 over Artesia. I'd like to thank Coach Brian Coltrane. Ron Gunter back to the station for myself, Ty Friend. Have a great rest of the week out there, and we will see you on Saturday in Estancia for Hobbs Eagle basketball. And don't forget, more Hobbs sports also you can catch on the Hobbs YouTube channel. Please check that out, the schedule. You can also get it through HobbsAmerica.com to see who's playing next. We hear today the Hobbs girls soccer team winning big 2-0 over Clovis. So we'll see if they have postseason chances. Just check it out on YouTube. Have a great rest of a week out there.
Clear.
Okay, got it in.
All right, stopping.